When Sophia Di Martino won the Best Breakthrough Performance at this year's MTV, we weren't really surprised. She undeniably did a brilliant job at playing Sylvie in Loki, but she was a good actress way before that. That's why we did a little digging of our own. In this video, we'll revisit some of her best performances over the years and look at which ones top the list. First off, let's talk about her breakthrough role. Even though Loki's her most famous role, some of us first saw her as Amy Flowers in the British sitcom series Flowers. The show's about the complicated and dysfunctional Flowers family, which is made up of Maurice, a depressed author, with his wife Deborah, who's a teacher. Then they're twins, Donald and Amy, a depressed artist who's having a hard time figuring out what she's supposed to do in this world. Watching the show makes it easy to see yourself and your family in their lives. Even though they're funny, they talk about things like death, mental illness, love, and acceptance. Di Martino told Esquire that playing Amy was the first time she felt like she belonged. She said that Amy's the first character where I really got to work with the writer to make someone special. Acting with a talented group of people can be scary, but Di Martino shows that she can stand out and give a powerful performance that we'll remember forever. Amy's story becomes more important in the second season as she slowly goes downhill while trying to make an ambitious musical and performance piece. She ends up being the most important part of the show. It's not just the writers that got the show so much clout. Di Martino was also praised for how she brought Amy to life with compassion and vulnerability. It's not hard to see why this shows her big break. Second, BBC One's Casualty. This is one of her top-tier performances, even better than her breakthrough role. It's a British medical drama on BBC One called Casualty, created by Jeremy Brock and Paul Unwin in 1986. That's pretty old. It also makes it the longest-running primetime medical series in the world. Polly Emerson, who Di Martino plays, is a regular character on the show. She first showed up in 2009. Even though life isn't always kind, she does everything she can to help and save people. You might even think of her as naive in this performance. Of course, she's got to learn the hard way that even as a paramedic, you can't always be the hero. In the end, she's able to show that even though she's young, she can work just as hard and with just as much compassion as her older coworkers. Di Martino was in 83 episodes, and we saw how much she changed as a young, hopeful paramedic. At first, she's just a new person at Holby City Hospital who doesn't know how things work, but she gets the hang of things after a while. Her amazing and sometimes relatable performance as Polly in Casualties makes it one of her biggest roles. Then, The Darkest Universe. Imagine being so good that your performance is unforgettable, even though you're not even the main character. Now that's something Sophia Di Martino can relate to. In the dark comedy drama The Darkest Universe, she worked with the BAFTA-nominated directors Tom Kingsley and Will Sharp again. They'd already worked together on the 2011 movie Black Pond. This movie's about Zach, whose sister Alice and her boyfriend Toby have gone missing. He does everything he can to find them when he learns of their disappearance. This hurts some of his relationships, especially the one with his partner, who Di Martino plays. In the movie, she supports Zach's effort to find Alice, but gets tired of the pressure and the way he pushes her away. Even though she isn't the main character, her performance as Eva, who's clearly feeling lost, unloved, and guilty, makes the audience's hearts ache. It works better because of how well it was directed and written, and because of how badly Zach and Eva get along. All of these things give the movie an amazing and charming atmosphere. Even coming-of-age movies. Is there anything this actress can't do? Seriously, even as a supporting character in the 2021 movie Sweetheart, Di Martino left a lasting impact. Marley Morrison wrote and directed this award-winning coming-of-age movie about a shy, awkward teen. You know how this goes. AJ doesn't want to spend a week with her family at a British seaside holiday park because, of course, in indie movies, family time's the worst. When her older sister, Lucy, who Di Martino plays, and her boyfriend come over, it makes it hard for AJ to have fun. But when she meets Isla, the lifeguard who lives there, played by Ella Ray Smith, she realizes that her week might not be as bad as she thinks. This critically acclaimed movie has Di Martino playing a supporting role, but her performance gives the movie a powerful emotional weight. We'd even say that it makes the movie feel complete, especially when you learn how the siblings interact. Plus, some sweet romance. This seems to be her strong suit. You can definitely see the range she's got in this one. Yesterday, Yesterday is a romantic comedy directed by Danny Boyle and written by Richard Curtis. If you didn't know, Curtis also wrote everyone's favorite romantic classic, Notting Hill, in 2013's About Time. We've got Himesh Patel playing Jack Malik, an aspiring musician who wants to get his big break. But after an accident, he discovers he's the only person in the world who knows the songs of the famous band The Beatles. He uses this to his advantage by re-releasing their songs and getting famous. Di Martino plays Carol's part in a pretty big cast, which also has Joel Fry and Ed Sheeran. Okay, so maybe she only shows up in the movie's first half, but she's one of Jack's friends, and they're the ones who push him to sing the songs. It's not just any small part though. She fits in perfectly with the rest of the amazing cast, making them a great and funny group. It can be hard to act in a movie with funny parts, but Di Martino does it again. And click and collect. Remember how we talked about her thing for comedies? Well, this is another one in which she blew us away with her performance. Click and Collect is a British comedy movie from 2018 that was directed by Ben Palmer. Even apart from Di Martino, it's got a pretty impressive cast, like Stephen Merchant and Asim Chaudhry acting alongside her. In this holiday movie, Andrew's trying to get his daughter's Christmas wish, a toy unicorn that all the other parents seem to be fighting over for Christmas. He buys the toy through a service called Click and Collect, but he finds out that he's got to drive hundreds of miles to get it. Imagine if Amazon's service were that bad. We'd be so quick to give up on our parcels. He and his optimistic neighbor, Dev, go on a long journey together, and as they go, they slowly get closer. But what else can you do on a long journey? Even the worst of enemies would end up friends. From there, it's pretty clear how things will go. Screw-ups keep happening, from getting stuck in floods in the woods to speeding down roads in transport buggies. Anyway, this comedy's mostly about how Andrew and Dev become friends, but we can't just ignore our favorite actress. She gives the movie a lot of style and life. Okay, so maybe she doesn't have a lot of comedic roles in her filmography, but this movie shows that she can do comedy just as well as drama. And finally, is Sylvie Laufey-Daughter. Okay, let's talk about the role that won her the Best Breakthrough Performance Award. Loki is the third MCU series to come out, and you'd be surprised to hear that this one's got the most people watching. We suspect it's got something to do with how interesting and handsome the character is. This Disney Plus series is about what happens to a different version of Loki after he steals the Tesseract back in Avengers Endgame. He ended up in the Time Variance Authority, and their job is keeping the timeline from changing, as if their name doesn't make it obvious enough. Then, he's got to choose between being taken out of the timeline for good or stopping a big threat before it destroys everything. It turns out that the threat was actually Sylvie, one of Loki's other forms. They work together in a strange way to find out what's going on in the TVA. Everybody loved this show, and it got a lot of awards. It's easy to see why Di Martino's phenomenal in it. She does a great job of showing pain, vengeance, and anger, and with the next season all set to release next year, we've only got high hopes for her acting career. Also, when she was cast as Sylvie, she was very far along in her pregnancy. That meant she had to figure out how to balance being a first-time parent with the needs of a high-pressure job. Looks like she nailed that bit to perfection. That's a wrap for this video. Which role was your personal favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.